Before this week goes to an end, I have decided to share with you my all-natural homemade deodorant cream. I normally do it for my kids. My son is 9 turning 10 and my daughter is 15 turning 16. And this was me putting it on his armpits. Normally he does it on himself and I did it for him, and the way he was behaving was very crazy. And yeah, he didn't know that I was filming this. I just asked him, hey, bring your deodorant and let me rub it in your armpit. And then he realized that I was filming here and he decided to run away. There he is running away. But anyway, and then I tried the same thing on my daughter and her reaction was exactly the same. They are so ticklish. I didn't even know that. Anyway, that is just by the way. When my daughter was around 10, I started looking for natural deodorant. And because when they had sport in school and she came, I was smelling her, smelling sweaty, which is normal. So I started buying those disinfecting wipes, and I was putting them in her backpack for her to use to wipe under her armpits. I was using lime before she goes to take a shower, and then I started looking for all natural deodorants, but everyone I found had perfume in it. Although it had mostly natural ingredients, majority had perfume. So I decided to start making my own, and I'm sharing that with you in this video, perfect to gift this Christmas because it is all natural and every skin can tolerate. So to make a deodorant cream is like making a natural cream or balsam. You can go the fancy way with this ceramic two-set thing where you put a candle underneath, or you do the local way, which everybody can do. You take a pot and a small one to put on top. You do a water bath. So just so anybody can do this recipe, I'm going to stick with the local way. To start, you will need some kind of a clean surface, and I'm taking a kitchen roll, and I got these containers from my pharmacy. This is a 30 milliliter container, and the one in my hand right now is a 50 milliliter container. I use the recipe we are going to make. It fills the 50 milliliter container, so that is what you will need. And you can buy these containers from any pharmacy store or a beauty supply store if you are lucky. Here I have a 70% rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to spray that in my container to disinfect it before we pour the deodorant mixture inside. So you just spray the container itself, and then you spray the lid, just a few spritz, and then you cover it, and you will give it a good shake for it to spread inside the bottle and the lid. And you're going to take the lid off and lay it face down on the tissue or your clean surface and put that aside. Making homemade deodorant is very, very simple, and the best thing is exactly what you're putting in. So like I mentioned, we are doing the local way. We will take our pots, and we have in here shea butter, and I shared in my soap recipe that there are two kinds. You have the light colored one and this yellow one, and you can buy that at the pharmacy. We also have some cocoa butter that we are using here to go with it. So we have 10 grams of cocoa butter and 20 grams of shea butter. This is how the cocoa butter that I got from my pharmacy looks like. Make sure you get the organic one. And with this, we are going to put it on a very low heat. Yes, here I am showing you again the shea butter that I have. I happen to have some from when I visited Ghana this summer. Actually, not summer, it was September. So the end of summer, beginning of autumn. And you have the light colored and the deep colored one. So to heat this, we are not going to fry anything. We are not going to cook anything. We want to maintain all the good properties that these oils have. So we will melt them on gas number 2. I mean, the Stärke. How do you say that in English? Yeah, the heat should be on number 2. You melt it gradually, and then after it is melted, you use, I'm using a normal whisk, but if you have those small coffee whisk, you can use that. That is even better, but I don't have that. You will need baking soda, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and then 1 teaspoon. So you use 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. If you want it to be on a more creamy side, you would just take 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. But I like it to be a little firm, and so I take 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and the same with the cornstarch, 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. And after putting it in, I will just use my wire whisk and whisk until there are no clumps, there are no clumps, and it is completely nice and creamy. Like I mentioned, if you have the coffee mixing device thing, the little one that you hold in your hand like a hand mixer, you can use that to mix it to get it even more creamier. But what I'm doing in these all natural body care ingredients that you can gift this Christmas is I'm doing recipes that everybody can do at home. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a fancy lab to do them. You just go in your kitchen. Maybe you already have some of the ingredients, maybe you don't. If you don't have shea butter, you can also use coconut butter in this place instead of shea butter. The cocoa butter has a nice smell, so I insist on that. At the end, you can use some kind of essential oil if you prefer. I have here the lemon extract and then a peppermint extract, so whichever one you prefer. For today's recipe that I showed, I decided to use the peppermint. I like the very minty smell that it gives you, and so yeah, that's what I use. I also keep some of this deodorant cream at work in my cabinet. If I feel like I'm sweating, then I will go and rub some there. It's very easy to apply. Like I said, if you want it to be on the little hard side, then you use 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of both baking soda and cornstarch. And if you want it creamy, then you just stick with 1 tablespoon of each. And after we have mixed it nicely together, you will clean your surface and get your container that you have already disinfected, and we are going to pour our consistency in it. As you can see, in less than minutes, you are able to do your own homemade deodorant cream. How great is that? If you want to see how to make a deodorant spray, all natural deodorant spray, let me know. You see the consistency, don't be afraid of it. It looks runny now, but you will not cover this. You are going to pour this in. If you want to get rid of some air bubbles, just tap it on the floor, on the surface a little bit to release the bubbles, and do not put the lid on it. Do not cover because it is still a little bit warm. So you will let this sit overnight. That is the best. And then on the next day, you will put the lid on and you will see that it has hardened and it's ready to be used. So this is how you make an all-natural homemade deodorant cream. I hope you find it helpful. I hope you try it, and I hope that you will make it and gift your friends and loved ones. And if you have kids that are getting older, doing sport, and you see that they are starting to sweat and stuff, just make this and use that instead of buying ones with aluminum perfumes and all those weird ingredients that you cannot even pronounce. I just wanted to show you here real quick again how the consistency looks like, and as you rub it, in your armpits. This is how it feels. It feels smooth and your skin absorbs it because of course you have all natural ingredients in it. And the smell, you pick the one that you choose. If you don't want any essential oil, you can leave that out also. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you a Merry Christmas and stay blessed. Bye. Subscribe and like if you find it helpful. See you in my next one. Bye.